It is now 7:17. Thank you all for joining us.
I am well. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing well. All right, everyone. It is Thursday, as you know. It is 7:17 or p.m. My show starts at 7:15. My name is Arlene J. Ramsey. The name of my show is called Everyone Let's Talk. And for today's interview, we have the lovely and dynamic Darlene Paterson, who does wonderful work, meaningful work out in Paterson, New Jersey, where she works with disabled children. Darlene, nice to have you. And I introduced you to the participants here at the Grown Folk Talking Network. How are you this evening?
I am doing wonderful, and I am absolutely honored that you asked to interview me. So I am grateful, and I thank you for having me here tonight.
You're welcome. Give me 1 second. Let me turn the fan off because it's a little loud. And is your volume at the max? Let me take my fan off. 1 second. Well, that's one thing with the industrial fan. It gives good air, but it's very, very loud.
Very loud.
Very loud. Okay, Darlene, how long have you been doing this type of work?
Oh, wow. I could say subconsciously not aware of what I was doing. It's been pretty much all my life. I grew up in a household with a father who was a advocate for the community. He was not given the accolades. He was someone who did it like underground, so to speak. He just had a love and a heart for the community, for the people, especially the youth. So with that transpired into my life. And even as I grew up, and I can say, I think what really, really captivated me was when I went through my divorce and I saw that my family was dysfunctional. So we talk about disabled children. Well, there's disabilities within different parts of families. And so for me, there was a dysfunction. And my heart really went out to children that had difficulties within their family unit, within the family experience. And that's where actually the magazine came into play, because it's called the Nari Diamonds in the Rough, but we are all diamonds. We are diamonds in the rough experiences of our lives. And I noticed that even with the issues that my children went through, there were other youth going through it. And so because children gathered around me, whether they were disabled physically, whether there was some type of mental disability or learning disability, I was always giving and teaching and showing them different things on how to be the best that they can be with what they have, and learning that what your issue is or what your ailment is does not define who you are, does not identify who you are and what you can become. So that is something that I pushed into all the youth within the community, because they called me mom. So I was like the neighborhood watch mom in the community. And so, but I can say this. So I think about a childhood friend. He grew up with our family. His name is Matthew. And his first child had severe disabilities. Her name is Ashley. Her life expectancy was 3 years. I am so grateful that this year I was able to help them put together and celebrated her 30th birthday. So her life expectancy, according to doctors, was 3 years because of the ailments and the issues that she had as a disabled child. But she lived 30 years. And so they allowed me, or they asked me to come on board to help be the party planner. And it was just such a wonderful experience being with her and even watching how, even though her parents are not together, but how they co-parent together. It was just amazing just to see how they come together and they agreed on so many things, and their issues with whatever they had in their relationship didn't matter because their focus was on their daughter. And so it was just a pleasure for me to be a part of that. That is a monumental experience. We even have videos and footage on that that's going to be going into a documentary that I'm putting together. But I can say also, one day I was walking, and this young, beautiful soul, she changed my life in so many different ways, and she doesn't even know. But I was walking one day, probably complaining about something, and I was pulled to go in a different direction. Now, I walk a lot because I like to capture beautiful things that are out of the ordinary, or people doing things, and I'll stop and I say, okay, let me do an article, let me create something. So I was going in this direction. I was pulled to go into a different direction, and when I turned the corner, there was this beautiful young girl. She was sitting in a wheelchair, and I locked eyes with her, and she smiled. And I was captivated. And I walked past her, and she just smiled. She was patiently waiting for her mom to put her on the school van, and she just sat there, and she just smiled. She was so content. She was at peace. She was serene. She was blissful. And so I walked past, and I stopped. And I said to myself, what am I complaining about? I said, look at this little girl. What am I complaining about? There was no reason, shame on me. So when I stopped in my tracks, I turned around. By the time I turned around, she had already gotten on her school bus. But I went up to her mom and I said, your daughter, she captivated me. And she just filled my soul with joy. And her mom said, well, that's her name. Her name is Joy. And I said, well, she exemplifies every aspect of her name. I want to learn more about her. Can I write an article? She was like, sure. So now they're my family. She's actually here on the cover.
Amazing. You got it honest because you said that your dad was in the community, so you've learned from your dad. So this is something that you've seen ever since you were a teeny bitty little girl, and now you've taken on this beautiful role. So why I find this to be interesting is besides having the patience and the empathy, you have to have a special type of care, to dedicate this type of work for disabled children. And I tell you, children are beautiful, but it's rewarding. But I do understand that it's hard work. It's not easy work, and I'm quite sure you treat all children with kid gloves. It requires you to take your time, right? So it also shows that you have a special type of patience, right? And so this is definitely your purpose. No one wakes up one day and say, I'm just going to go and work with children, much less disabled children. But what you've done is brought them to the forefront. And oftentimes disabled children and even people, they're kind of forgotten because we're so busy in the hustle and bustle of the world, and it takes different patience and care and concern to check back and bring them along. So now we have you as the superhero that brings them along. You know, um, And I know your dad was in the community, but I don't think I heard you mention that he serviced disabled children. Did he as well, or?
He serviced everybody's child.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's child. He was a father to everybody's child. I know that after he made his transition, that people came up to me and told me what they did for them or what they did for their child. And my child is, graduated from college because of your dad, or my son would have been dead today because of your dad.
Mm-hmm.
So he serviced. I saw him. It was anybody. He was the whosoever will. He was the epitome of the scripture that says, no greater love than the man has than this, that he laid down his life for his friend. And so it didn't matter who the child was. He was like the community watch man, and it was a sort of tour ride for me because I didn't even really realize that I've taken that on until a question was proposed to me by my Bishop Shimon Womack. He proposed a question, and the question was, what is God requiring of you regarding your purpose? And so when I sat with that question, my dad came to my mind, especially because we were honoring Father's Day, and I just was thinking about him and the things that he's done, and fathering the six of us. I'm no baby daddy drama or baby mama drama. Like me and all my siblings, we have the same father and the same mother, and I'm so grateful for that. But I do want to say this, and this is just recent, and I don't know why, but it's purpose. I know it's God ordained. But in this Newark school early learning center, I don't want to name the school, I was asked if I could come in to assist a child with severe mental disabilities and major anger issues. And he was kicked, 5 years old, kicked out of 2 schools. And
Wow.
this last school, he was on his way out. Now, when I was asked to take on this assignment, the lady mentioned to me, she said to me, oh, well, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. She said, because he kicks, he bites, he pulls out here, he punches, and he throws things around, he turns over furniture, he does. So, if you don't want to do it, it's okay. I said, well, why not? And what went on in my head was, so everybody's giving up on him. Everybody pretty much tosses his child to the side, and you not even giving him a lifeline of hope because you're giving me the option to opt out. And she said, oh, think about it. I said, there's nothing for me to think about. I said, I'll start. I think 2 days after that, I'll go in 2 days. She was like, really?
So I have a question. Sorry to interrupt, because I know you did tell me that you service disabled children. So we're not just talking about physical disabilities. We're also talking about mental health issues or mental disabilities as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, and that's serious. It was really serious. It was not an easy task. It was very, very challenging. However, excuse me, I said within myself, okay, one thing I will not do is let a 5-year-old defeat me.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen, right.
Happen. And so, because what I did for him, the connection that I made with him, first of all, is eye contact to let him know that I'm no joke, nothing to play with.
Right.
But secondly was because he likes to use his hands forcefully. The first thing I did when I met him, I said, "Give me your hands." I said, "Now put your hands in my hands."
Mm-hmm.
And he took his hands. And so everything that I did when he did something good, even if it was the smallest thing, I said, "Now give me your hand. Now hold my hand." So you're so smart. I said, "I love you, and I'm going to give you my heart."
Mm-hmm.
So that was the transition, and I can say transconfiguration for this child who not only remained in the school,
Wonderful.
but he improved in such a way that the principal and the director said to me that some of these teachers can learn something from you,
Mm-hmm.
and we're so grateful that you came aboard. So I say that to say there was a saying. Well, no, it was actually something that I watched. I don't know if it was a documentary or something, but it was old ships. They were abandoned. They were in ruins. And this family decided to take the ruins, to take these old ships that people were abandoning and throwing away, engineers and scientists, they were just scrapping them, and they took them. And what they did was they got rid of what they didn't need,
Mm-hmm.
but they looked at the relevance of if there's something that can be reusable.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they took that and then they added the new technology to it. So they kept the old that was able to be repaired, and they worked on repairing that, and then
Mm-hmm.
they added the new technology, and the end product was beautiful. So my theory is, you take something that someone wants to give away, throw away, do not want anymore, discard,
Mm-hmm.
and you take it and you turn it into something beautiful. And that is something I decided, and I pretty probably was doing that my entire life, but the whole concept of it is, who am I to, if there is need of me for something that you might be lacking, who am I to turn aside, turn
Right.
away, or push you to the side? That me just assisting you might be the very breakthrough that you need to
Mm-hmm.
become that entrepreneur, or to become the one who pays it forward for somebody else, you know. So that is
Another
that.
another question. So
Yes.
the young boy, what grade is he in now?
Oh, he's going to kindergarten.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. And I know you said that the principal or someone that works at the school says that the teachers can learn some things from you, and I agree. However, I do know that this is it's a very intricate task, right? And so the patience that is needed and the technique that you've learned along the way. And I'm quite sure no two child is alike. So that means that you have many techniques, as there are children that you, that you work with, and therefore a school teacher would not be able to do what you do and still teach a class. It's just
Hmm.
pretty much impossible. Plus, this
Absolutely.
this is your purpose. So what you manage to come up with, it's one of a kind, and it is definitely something I root for, because I do believe that many families need someone like you to assist them with troubled children,
Hmm.
right? And so I've heard stories of parents not knowing what to do with their children, and they do only what they know, but they can't seem to find success or common ground. And so I have to appreciate how you find your technique to deal with these children. And so, what ages do you have a age limit, or it doesn't matter the age of the children that you deal with? You
No,
work.
it doesn't matter the age of the children. I want to say one thing really quick about this young boy before I go forward. he was 100 and maybe like 150 pounds,
Mhm.
5 years old.
Oh wow. That's
And
great, right?
right,
Yeah.
and when he would get angry, he would shake, it almost like blackout, and he
Mhm.
would throw himself. And
Mhm.
so what I would have to do was grab him from underneath when he becomes uncontrollable and hold
Mhm.
him
Mhm.
and hold him until he would almost like break. It was like a breakthrough to
Mhm.
got his breakthrough.
Mhm.
Sometimes he would throw himself on the floor, and I would say, and I would fold my hands and say, okay, when you're finished, you let me know, and you
Mhm.
take.
Wow.
And then there were moments where I really cried because
Mhm.
I would have to just sit on the floor with him and just hold him and rock him, and he would cry out. And then when he finishes, I said, okay, take my hand and let's go for a walk. And
Okay.
we would go for a walk, and we would come back, and he was fine after that. So, that it was really heartbreaking for me to see at 5. And there were
Mhm.
other. He's not the only one. I was solely my assignment was for him, but the
Mhm.
other children, um, they surrounded me, like they wanted that love, they wanted that support, they wanted,
Right.
so they would come, and I would give it to them,
Of
even though
course.
I was just assigned to one child, but it was like all the children saw the love, and they
Right.
all wanted that. So he wasn't the only one that had issues, but he was the only one that they could not control. So, with that being said, I'm going on to, it doesn't matter the age. Well, in the city of Paterson, in the hood, as they would say,
Mhm.
um, a lot of the young men, the drug dealers, the gangbangers, um, they called me mom, and I was considered the safe house, the
Mhm.
home that they never had, the mom that they never had, because of just non-judgmental conversation. You know, what you do, what your experiences that you had within your home that led up to what you're doing now. I'm not here to judge. I just want to show you love.
Right.
I just want you to know that there's somebody that cares about you, and because of that, um, some of them, some of them that who went to prison, they were released from prison early. Some of them who were locked up and released. One of them, he actually got custody of his daughter, and now he's working. So it's just a mortgage board of different um, situations and age groups and different dysfunctions and disabilities, like you said, whether it be mental, with emotional or physical, that I just deal with and learned to. I mean, love is what it does.
Right.
So love.
The young boy, has he lost any weight since you have been working with him?
Yes, just a little, but little makes much. So
Look.
not
Right.
right, and
Right.
not only that, but his behavior has improved,
Mhm.
and when he sees someone upset, he'll run over to them and are you okay? You know,
Oh, that's
so um,
okay. Love that.
right.
Yeah.
So
That's,
he's learning from me, and he started implementing that and assisting even the other children within the class. So
so I know Paterson, New Jersey is the motherland for you. This is where it started. What other cities do you service?
oh, Paterson, East Orange, Bloomfield, Clifton.
Hmm.
I've been out of town, assisting families in Virginia. So it's wherever I am and I see an issue. One thing my daughter, if I see something, I say something. I'm just that mom. You know, my daughter, she says to me, "Mom, you don't know these people," but that's just me. I have the nurturing heart. If I see something wrong, I'll say something. If I see someone that needs assistance, I step in. And that's just who I am.
I love it. I love it again. Are you called to assist via the schools or the parents or both?
When you say calls
Called on for your services.
for
When
my
you're
service,
when you're
no.
contacted for your services, will it be by the school? Will it be by the parents of the child, or do you have a mixture of both?
Right now, it's just the schools for the students, for the
Okay.
children.
Okay.
Now, it was proposed to me to become um, and assist the families.
Mhm.
So to assist, and the reason why is because the teachers were complaining that the behavior, a lot of the behavior, of course,
Mhm.
it's learned behavior. So children
Mhm.
learn what they see, they learn what they experience,
Mhm.
and the parents, uh, it's like they have a lost hope for their own children. So
Mhm.
the question was proposed to me: would you be willing to work with the parents or be a liaison between the
Mhm.
school and the parents with the students? That will make a greater difference because and it does make sense because when you work with a child during the day and then they go home, who knows what happens when they go home? And
Right.
when they come to school, it's like you have to reframe, you have to retrain. So it's,
Absolutely.
exactly every day. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what character it is today. I don't know how he's feeling today. I don't know if they gave him his medication this morning or if they gave him too much medication. Sometimes he would come in and he's sleepy. And then some of the other students, one young child, she would come and she didn't talk. She would just make sounds. And
Nonverbal.
I asked a question, right? I asked a question.
Mhm.
Uh, why is she not talking?
Mhm.
Why are and I really I don't point fingers like at the teachers, but I do believe that they could have done more with her. But
Mhm.
there were times where I would sit with her and just listen. And I'm
Okay.
like, she knows her ABCs. And I would just say things and I would point things out and she would answer me. And I'm like, she is really smart. She
Right.
just
Right.
does not know how to articulate her words. And then she was evaluated, and I feel that the evaluation was very unfair
Mhm.
because the person that came in, he sat and he had his documents and he, pointed out things to her and for her to show him and she was not attentive. And so he's writing in his notebook and I sat there and I said, wow. So he's evaluating her and it's not going to be accurate because
Right.
the things that I learned from just listening to
Mhm.
her, and she knows all her ABC. She knows how to count. She knows her colors. She knows animals. She knew so much. But when he came in, she did not produce or she did not show those results. So, it's pretty much falsified documents because of what you're getting and how you're interacting and she's not interacting with you. So it saddens me
I can
because
imagine that a lot of children have gone slipped through the cracks because of that. Also, you just have that Ashe, that Midas touch, that we would say, right? Because it also seems as if maybe the children open up because they're comfortable with your energy, your approach. This is why purpose is extremely important, right? And so everybody can't just step in those shoes, right? So as I'm listening to you, this is also what I'm gathering, right? Because I can imagine they're not energetically safe and sound for the children, and
Absolutely.
children may not respond in a successful way. And I can see how the adults may be driven to frustration and also falsify their evaluation. But we're going to thank God that you're definitely on the team, the right team, and helping these children to greatness, right? And so at this time at 7:48, 1 second, does anyone have any questions for Darlene before we continue on at this time? If not, Darlene, you can continue on.
Okay. So one thing that was coming to mind is one thing that's very, it really hurts to see the lack of support for children that are disabled and even their families. Even meeting Joy and her mother Anna is amazing. And I know she wouldn't mind me mentioning this, but they lived on the second floor apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no lift for the wheelchair.
Mm.
And she would have to carry her up the steps onto the porch. She would pull up the wheelchair onto the porch, and then she would have to brace herself to carry her daughter on her back up the stairs into the second floor apartment. Now, Joy is about 65 pounds. And I said to Anna, she's only going to get bigger. She's going to get heavier.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she gets into the house where they sleep, there's another flight of stairs, And because Joy has spinal bifida, she's wheelchair bound, and her mom, she's either in the wheelchair or her mom has to carry her. And so, we've been having a lot of challenges, and me being an advocate for them, just getting the support and the resources that they need. And even I go back to, I had a conversation with my friend Matthew, and he said, oh my, the support is not there, over these 30 years with Ashley, and all the issues that I had with her and the lack of support, like the system failed us and we had to fight and fight and fight, for some of the things that we have. And there were some we didn't even get resources for certain things, and insurance, and having to regularly schedule doctor's appointments. Like, this is their life, this is their livelihood, to where it's not the norm, like where you could just get up in the morning and go to work, your children go to school, but you have to take time out to make sure that you care and you're accurate with everything that you do for these children, especially hygiene, and,
So,
and
so do
certain,
you think
go ahead. I'm
do you
sorry.
think that you would be positioning yourself? Seems like she may need to have be relocated to a place that's more conducive for her situation. Do you think that you would eventually be positioned to help families in such matters?
Well, we actually, we fought for a few months,
Mm-hmm.
but she will be moving,
Awesome.
and on July 1st, so I just, I'm going to be able to help support her in her move. It was, very challenging, especially with a lot of the programs that they said were available. And
Mm-hmm.
then, when we went to really go and get them to, activate, and manifest the results or the resources to make it easier for Anna and Joy. They were not there. So it was fighting until we saw the results that we needed, but it should not, it shouldn't have been that way.
Right.
It shouldn't have been that way. It should have been, this is what they need, this is what we have, it's done. I said, all we need is one apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I have the amenities for this child, just one.
Absolutely.
Out of all apartments that you have available in the city of Paterson, all we need is one.
Right.
So why are we having such a hard time?
Right.
And so, with that, my mind's eye, and the thing is, I really have in my heart to create a foundation for children with disabilities. So,
I commend you on that. I know you said that you service children out of state. Is there a cap on the distance that you would service children? Because I'm quite sure that you may travel to the respective states. Do you have a limit or cap on the distance? Or
well,
does
what I would like to do, and I won't put a cap on anything because God can do all things.
Anna Walker.
Okay. She's announcing herself. She just came in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I won't put a cap on it because I do believe that, and there's a saying, if you build it, they will come. So
Right.
if people see me assisting, they would, want to join and be a part of it, or they may have something or have some resources available in other areas, where we could come together as one, and branch out into different areas where there are people, and I'm quite sure I'm not the only one, but there's probably people in other areas that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. So if I can connect the dots,
Right.
with these people, that they will be, instead of me having to travel, we have someone located in South Carolina, that's connected to Anari Diamonds in a Rough Foundation, that can service families in that area. So,
Do you have a name or a technique in which you call the service that you provide?
love. I never looked at it as, a service that I provide. It was just doing what came natural to me.
That's how we know that this is your purpose.
Right,
This
what I
is
saw my
not something
father
that
do.
absolutely.
Right, there was no name. Even with this children with disabilities, and I've been around them all my life. I had cousins who were disabled, and I just loved them. I didn't see disability,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it. I just loved, and whatever you needed, if I had it, then you got it. So whatever service that I had to make available to you, or whomever I can reach out to, I just did it. So there was really not a name for
Wonderful.
it.
Wonderful. That tells me that this is your purpose. This is, it's also spiritually led, again, I commend you for listening to the higher power and being the good steward of this type of work. Does anyone have any questions at this time before we continue on?
Yes. Hi. This is Melvin.
Hi, Melvin. How are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
All
Good topic.
is well.
Great topic. Great topic. So needed. So needed. I came in a little late, so I didn't get the young lady's name and where she's located.
Oh. Well, hi, how are you? My name is Darlene, and I am located in the Essex and Passaic County area in New Jersey.
Okay, you're in New Jersey. Okay, yeah, New Jersey got a lot going on. Yeah. Um, you you don't have a name, all right?
Do I
So
have a
like,
name? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you don't have a name. Do you have a name? Like you provide services and stuff, right?
Well, no, I don't have a name. It's basically birthed out of my magazine called Anari Diamonds in the Rough. I started just doing journalism, and it just happened to kind of connect with what I was doing, just finding people, ordinary people doing extraordinary things and writing articles. So when I started meeting people that needed services, I just stepped in. So I don't have a name, but I do, the foundation that I am establishing is Anari Diamonds in the Rough Foundation.
Okay. Okay.
So to supporting youth with disabilities, and I don't say disabilities, more like unique abilities. So
Right.
that
Right.
would be the name, Anari Diamonds in the Rough Foundation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cause only reason why I asked that because I have an organization called You Can Change That Life. That's You Can Change It. And I come across a lot of people who are passionate with what they do, and they want to help people even further.
Yes.
The challenge is that if you don't situate yourself, um, um, you don't situate yourself in a business sense, then what most people have is just a hobby.
Mhm. Absolutely.
It's a desire, but it's a hobby.
Mhm.
And I'm speaking from being in the business.
Mhm.
So your passion may be great, but when it comes to dealing with organizations and companies, um, they look past people who are not situated in that way.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So what I'm saying to make it short, because my organization is deal with a lot of kids that are dealing with a lot of challenges as well, and
Okay.
I'm in the rebuilding phase of it. I'm located here in the Bronx, and
Okay.
Okay.
I don't gatekeep all of my information. Some I do. So what I'm saying is that at the end we can exchange information, and if there is something that I can share with you to help you kind of get going business wise, to establish your, to establish what you're doing on a business level, I'll
Well,
share some of it with you.
Melvin,
You
her organization is on a business level. Okay, I know you said that you called in late, but she services children in the schools. So the school systems in Paterson, New Jersey, Newark, what did you say? Clifton,
You
East
belong
Orange.
to.
Um, yeah, they reach out to her for her services, not the family, but the actual school system. So she is definitely legit and solid. However, she just doesn't have a name for the technique that she uses. Hence why I understand that this is her purpose and she is spiritually led, right? Yeah, okay, so here's why I can say that. I spent years as a project manager in the international business, and I left my career to run my program at Delaney Hall and the Greater Essex Drug and Alcohol Treatment Center. I called it the Self-Wealth Mentorship Program, which had three pillars: self-awareness, self-enlightenment, and self-empowerment. However, when the program director, Mrs. Gannon, assessed my program, the letter of recommendation that she has written for me, I would not have been able to write for myself because I couldn't list the technique that I was using. But it was there that I learned that my program, first off, is it's under the psychotherapy umbrella, and the program that I was offering was the cognitive behavioral therapy. and rational emotive behavioral therapy. I would not have been able to come up with that myself, right? So
Right.
hence why I understand that you're spiritually led, and this is something that is natural. There is a name for your technique, but you're spiritually led. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. It is phenomenal. It is turning over phenomenal results, and you're getting called by the school systems to come in and help them with their children, which speaks volumes to the impact that you're actually doing. And Melvin, you'd be surprised because before you called in, I did ask her, is there a cap or, limit on the distance in which she would travel? And one of the things that she said is that she's looking to, connect with people who are doing similar work and connect the dots. And if she gets a call for the respective territory, she would reach out to her constituent. So, so now you're one of her constituents out there in the Bronx, and I look forward to you guys connecting and sharing information to make that happen.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. I'm always open to helping out people with what I have and with what I know. You know.
Wonderful.
So,
Any other questions?
no, that
Or
would be it for me.
thank you, Melvin. Any
Mhm.
other questions or comments?
Well, I would like to say thank you for that because
You're welcome.
thank you. I really appreciate that. You never cease to amaze me.
And likewise. And there's so much to Darlene. She's also working on a documentary. I will not touch that because that will be Forrest, Brother Forrest Nance will interview her in regards to the documentary. She has so much that she is doing. It is not just this work, it's another aspect. And we need the documentary because the world needs to see and communities needs to see that this work is being done, right? You're the diamond in the rough, and you're known by the people that know you. What about the people who don't know you, who needs to know you? And so I am so looking forward to tuning into your discussion with Brother Forrest Nance. Is there anything else that you would like us to know, or if there's anyone else that has a question or a comment for her? Because now it's 8:04, and 8:15 we're going to be done.
I would like to say something.
Sure.
My name is Anna,
Hi.
and like you said, yes, hi. Like you said, yes, it is very much spiritual led because this is how I met her, and yes, my daughter is on the cover of her magazine.
Wow. Wow. Well, nice to meet you, Anna. And
Nice to meet you.
so this is Joy we're talking about, correct?
Yes, this is correct.
Oh, wonderful. So Anna, how are you feeling with the progress, and how is Joy doing?
Joy is being extremely. She is very, very joyful. I mean, she is very happy. Um, I mean, she was born with spina bifida. It's within the stage which is called minor malignancy, where it's a lot of complications that comes within that. But other than that, she's completely happy. She's completely wonderful. I mean, she loves going to school. She loves being around her friends, and she also goes to disability school. And with Ms. Darlene and me working on the project, I'm able to get help or any of the information that she's able to give to me, I could pass on within the school itself. So it works out within hand in hand.
Wonderful. Making. So I don't want to answer for you. So for you, how does that make parenting for you? How do you feel? We're talking about. So let's tie this all in on how this actually affects us in the hood, as we call it, and the stressors that we deal with, right? So what has this done for you as far as your stressors and just everyday life? How are you feeling?
Everyday life is, I would say, it's an adventure. It has what I call, it has like its peaks and its valleys. It's where there's moments where I'm not able to get the help that I need, and with Ms. Darlene's help, I'm able to get the help that I need. Like you said, because it is the hood, it's the stereotype, it's the stigma that goes behind within the neighborhood itself.
Yes, ma'am.
It depends on who you talk to. Some people can be rude. Some people could be like, okay, they think they're explaining things to you. And like I told her, one of the frustrations that I have is mostly about where it's hard to get help when you're leaving, when in other words, when you have a disabled child, but you also leaving the workforce. So you're dealing with the sacrifice of that. And it becomes very frustrating because people talk to you like if you know things, and a lot of times you don't really know the things. Like you don't know, like I'm not the only person. There's many other parents who, even caregivers who take care of elderly, where they leave, they have to sacrifice their jobs to take care of loved ones and families and elderly parents. And it's like you don't know where to go. You don't know where to get resources from. Because it's not really listed. It's not really, you don't really know unless you know someone that knows someone that knows someone. Mm-hmm. It's just like, other than that, it's not really posted anywhere. It's not really talked about anywhere. So you do get that frustration.
Right. I totally understand that. Plus, some people are embarrassed, right? They don't have words. They cannot articulate themselves. They're frustrated. They don't want to have the conversation, right? So even if they have Darlene's contact information, they could just be all over the place as far as life is concerned. But you sound very relaxed, and so that speaks volumes to the work that Ms. Darlene Paterson is doing here. Brother Melvin, before we go, would you like to give Darlene your information? Your contact number?
I'm sorry, but I was unmuting myself. Yes. The name of the organization is called You Can Change. It's a 501c3 organization located in the Bronx.
Okay.
The telephone number is 914-305-5060. I suggest that when you call, just please let me know who you are.
Okay.
And how you heard about myself or the organization.
Okay.
And then give me at least 24 hours or so to get back to you. And then what I'll do is that I'll share with you what I know. I worked 8 years with what we call back then handicap community. They changed up the names now, and I forgot. They changed up the name a couple of times. So I know about working with young adults who have those issues, and these were young adults. My guys were more severe. They were in wheelchairs. They had spinal bifida. Joints were locking and everything else and stuff. So I understand that because we took them out into the public and they were normal to us.
Right, absolutely.
We real quick. I remember we took one shopping to get some clothing and stuff, and as I'm pushing them down the street, a Spanish lady, she's like, oh, she felt so bad. Oh, and she gave him money, and then he looks at me, I look at him, I just go, you got money now. So I understand, and it is difficult. I would say lastly, I don't know if you're on social media. I have not checked, but I would like to say that I'm assuming that there is a large community out there that are supporting each other. So you may want to check that out as well.
Okay.
And I'll stop there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Melvin. Darlene, would you like to let everyone know how they can reach you?
Yes. You can. I can actually give you my contact number. It is 862 287.
May I speak?
1 second. Let Darlene give her.
I'm sorry. I do apologize.
That's okay. Go ahead. Start from the top. 862
287 9833. My IG is Anari Diamonds, ANARI Diamonds. And my Facebook is Darlene-EL.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Darlene, when you get a chance, can you call me and just leave me your information because I'm not in a position to write anything down now?
Absolutely.
I'll get back to you. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. And I'm sorry, the sister that wanted to say something, go ahead.
Okay. Because I've been trying to speak for the longest time. I wasn't sure. I didn't realize I was on mute. I'm also as well. I was born with spina bifida too as a child.
Okay.
I am able. I'm not wheelchair bound at all. Only thing at the age of 14 is I went out. I had two shunts. Unfortunately. At the age of 14, it took my vision in my right eye. So I had no light perception in my right eye. Yeah. So I have peripheral vision and center vision in my left eye. But my question is to you, and I do have another different ability as well as an adult. My question is to you, lack of education with family. I live in Hoboken, born and raised after 42 years.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, 42 years. How can you educate family to help out an adult? How can you educate? When you see something, you like you said, you say something. How can you educate family? Because what I don't understand is if you gave birth to me, you should understand. If family should understand. I told them how to help me.
That's a great question.
I'm kind of clueless on. Maybe it might should be off the podcast, but I'm kind of clueless. So I wonder if you able to.
Well,
yes.
Families, and I know where time is winding up, but families that have children with unique abilities, they need a support group for them so that they can be educated. But they also have to be open to the education. Now, one thing I do know is, like, because I'm a holistic health wellness coach, that just because they are overwhelmed as well, so just having a support or even forming a support group saying, okay, we're not only, like with Anna, I give her just as much as support as I give Joy. But it's customized because Joy is dealing with her issues within herself, and then as a mother, Anna is dealing with her issues. And there are some things that I don't know, so I research myself, or Anna will even assist me and say, well, look this up. This is, when she's spinal bifida, let me give you the links to this. So just to be able to share information with families and talk to them and then just hear them and let them talk, just being a vessel. I mean, if I need to seek out information to bring back information to the family and see how we can implement it to help the children, to help you, to help Anna, to help others, I'm willing to do that as well.
Okay.
Right. And one thing I would like to chime in as in to say, I'm not sure. I think when you talk about the education, maybe the medical field may not have the right information to educate families at the time, and oftentimes they may not. Again, we're talking about the stigma of who we are as people, as in to say, I cannot speak for this, but I can only assume and implement that maybe other groups of people may be better educated as far as the help that they receive. versus those of us that are in the Black and brown and indigenous communities. So, I understand your frustration and how your family may not have been educated enough to be able to help you. And being that you were born with the ailment, you had to learn how to move yourself in a sense. So, yes, then you taught your family members and your parents on how to help you to a degree. But this is why Darlene is doing this wonderful work, right? Because she's
Can
taking
I, can I rephrase? Can I rephrase that? So
yes.
they definitely knew how to help me. Being that my father crossed over 2 years ago,
Mhm.
life has changed. So this is where the confusion comes in at, and this is where it doesn't make sense to me.
Can I interject really quick?
Sure.
So this is where you become my family. Because just because people are blood related, there might not be the proper relationship. You know, that goes across the board for any family. So this
Absolutely.
is why Anna and Joy, Anna, are you there? They're my family. Like I literally went, I picked them up, I took them to the Juneteenth festival. That they are my family. So it doesn't matter if you're blood related. So you're mine now. So now that you're on this call, so you're a part of what I'm doing, and anything that I can do to assist you, I'm here for you. So
Okay.
sometimes, really quick. So sometimes it's not what we're lacking,
Yes.
what we don't have, and we can look at what we have. So right now you have me. Right now you have Anna. Right now you have
Yes.
Julie. And I'm quite sure you have Mr. Andrew. So right now, here's a family right here, and this is my purpose, is to not, we're interwoven spiritually. Like Miss Arlene said, it's a spiritual thing. Spirit is thicker than blood.
Right. Right.
Would you like
So
my number?
Oh, Arlene, you have my number, ma'am.
I have
This
your
is
number. I will give your
Latoya.
number. Yes, I will give your number to Darlene. At this
Yes.
time, we do have to
Yes.
wrap up as it is
Yes.
8:19, and
Thank
Brother
you.
Bill Graves will be on next. After Brother Bill Graves, we will have Baba Joe leading after Bill Graves. That's at 9:30, and so on. Before we end today's informative show, just note that, or be reminded that we have our Dis-Ease Prevention Convention and Health Forum coming up on Saturday, August the 8th. This is the flyer. We will have over 20 speakers coming out to the event. There's opportunities to vend, so if you would like to have a table, be sure to call Brother Forrest. His phone number is on the back of the flyer. Anyone who doesn't have Forrest's number, please call me, and I will be sure to give you his phone number. Again, that is Saturday, August the 8th. Also, look out for more from Darlene, as she has given us her contact information. And Brother Forrest is due to interview her. I want to say this is next Saturday because she does have a documentary that she's working on, and so it will be good for you all to tune in on Saturday at 6 p.m. Not this Saturday. I want to say it's the following Saturday, to listen to what Darlene has going on in regards to her documentary. Darlene, it has been a pleasure to have you on. And again, my sister, you are my constituent and my comrade from this point on. I love the work that you're doing. Thank you very much. And to all the families that have you, I know that they're much happier with you by their side. And to all, we will end today's discussion at this time. See you all next week. Next week
Thank
will
you
be
so
part
much. Thank
two.
you.
Next week will be part two in regards to the Carmelo Anthony case. Take care.
Thank you.